Let's get it. More Bitcoin ETFs have been approved and will start trading before the end of this week. Coinbase has also formed a partnership with the NBA and WNBA. We have Bitcoin on-chain analysis that remains bullish for the long term, especially with the bigger holders. However, in the meantime, we may see a small pullback as Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index has reached extreme greed. Lastly, we're going to be taking a look at Polkadot and price predictions for the rest of this bull run. Let's go. Hello everybody and welcome to the Crypto Cabin. My name is Tom, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the latest Bitcoin ETF to launch. We will also be chatting about the Coinbase partnership with the NBA and the WNBA. We'll be talking about on-chain analysis and what that is looking like for long term and the bigger holders. We'll take a quick look at the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, a quick look at Bitcoin trends on Google, as well as a Polkadot price prediction, so stick around to the end for that. If you are new to the channel, please go on down, hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up as well if you like the content, then click the notification bell and select all so you get notified for when I post new videos. Without any further ado, let's dive right in here. First, we've got Bitcoin Futures ETF, another one launching on October 22nd, this one by Valkyrie. So October 22nd is Friday, tomorrow. So Valkyrie's Bitcoin ETF is poised to follow suit from ProShares Bitcoin's ETF and will start trading on Friday. This launch is important because it furthers the affirmation that US regulators want to collaborate with the industry in order to regulate it rather than ban them, which is much better than what is happening in China, of course. We do not want crypto to get banned. However, I know regulation maybe isn't what everybody wants. The whole idea was to have this perhaps be outside of the government. That was the initial push from crypto. However, some regulation will definitely bring more capital into the space as more people will feel confident in bringing their money on board, especially larger institutions and bigger people with bigger wallets. So the more products that come to the market, the more awareness they will bring and hopefully more adoption. There are, of course, other filings for similar products, and it would make sense for them to come to market as well. So there are more ETFs that could potentially be launched here soon as well. We now have two officially that are out there, Valkyrie and ProShares. In other cryptocurrency news, we have Coinbase becoming the official partner of the NBA and WNBA. So according to the announcement, the deal is going to be geared towards increasing awareness around blockchain and also helping to grow the crypto economy. It marks the first cryptocurrency platform partnership for each league. So that is absolutely huge. Having Coinbase logo all over the stadiums, on advertisements, in between breaks and stuff like that is going to bring a lot more awareness to the crypto space and potentially bring more people on board. Coinbase is also one of the first places that people will go because it's a fairly easy to use centralized exchange for cryptocurrency, and that is how they can get introduced to Bitcoin to start and then potentially some higher cap altcoins or whatever else is on Coinbase from there. So as part of the partnership, they are going to create interactive experiences to engage with the NBA and WNBA's incredible communities and athletes around the world. So even more and more exposure, which is awesome. A lot of this news lately has been extremely bullish, so I do believe that this is the lead up to the last parabolic run here in Q4 of 2021, potentially spilling over a little bit into 2022 for altcoins, but this is going to be amazing. Next, let's talk about what the whales are doing. So it appears that they are continuing to accumulate. So this article looks at the exchange net position change, which is used to measure whether there's an inflow or outflow of Bitcoin from accounts linked to exchanges. Typically during market cycle bottoms, there is a large outflow from such accounts since holders purchase coins and transfer them into cold storage. And on the other hand, there's usually a large inflow during significant price rallies as longer term holders look to take profit. So there have been three main periods of inflows that we are going to discuss here. First one was back in August when Bitcoin broke out above 11K. This likely transpired due to renewed conviction in the market after the rally became stronger. So we rallied up, broke through 11K, and then people started moving money back off of exchanges and hodled, noting that there was likely going to be a strong increase in price coming up from a lot of larger accounts. The second instance was when Bitcoin hit new all-time highs. So this inflow wasn't very big, but what I would assume that this was, like it says, a small amount of profit taking. This could have been from when people bought in at the 2017 peak. They hodled the whole way and they were like, I just want to get out and get even, and that's it. I'm good with that. Notice there wasn't a ton of inflow back to exchanges here. It was very, very minimal. The third time was the largest, where investors took considerable profit. So this was on the way down. After we kind of started this rolling over top here, people noted that this could potentially be the top of the market. The pi cycle top indicator crossed, and I think that maybe scared quite a few people. And then inflows into exchanges spiked, and now the price came down. We now have another inflow to exchanges here, but again, it's very, very small. So like happened here, when after we hit all-time highs, there was a little inflow and then we went back into people hodling. This could potentially be the same thing. This could be from smaller accounts that bought in at the very top, right around 65K. They hodled and they're like, oh man, I don't like this 50% retracement that I saw, but I now have a chance to get out and, not get completely wrecked. So that could potentially be a reason again. Last time that we went into this small outflow after all-time highs, we saw a 3x in price, over a 3x in price. So if we did see something similar happen now, we have a 60 to 65K Bitcoin. If we saw a 3x in price, we could see $180 to $195,000 Bitcoin in the next little while here, based on if the same thing or something similar happens to what happened last time we reached all-time highs. So the balances between 100 and 1,000 Bitcoin has been steadily increasing since February 2021 and has reached an all-time high here in October. The supply held by each account did not fall during this crash. As you can see, it stayed very steady, showing strong conviction. This means that large accounts are still accumulating and that the inflows were likely a result of small accounts. Inflows from small accounts, like I said before, likely means that it was people that bought in at the top in 2017, around 20K, and now just want to get out and break even. And then it would also be potentially people that bought in at the top here at 65K and again just want to get out and break even. It likely was not a ton of whale activity buying in, or they aren't going to be selling, because the whales, what are they doing? They are buying and holding long term. So what does that tell us, right? They always say follow the smart money, but people get greedy, or we get emotional and we end up panic selling a lot of the time, or the retail investor does. Let's take a quick look at the Bitcoin price here. So we're here on the daily chart. We were forming this rising wedge, and typically a rising wedge pattern is bearish. We have wicked below it slightly and come back up into it. However, we are now looking like we are breaking below it. So if we do get a daily close today below this wedge, I do see a break down a little bit further. This is the measured move. So we take the distance from the top of the wedge to the bottom of the wedge there and apply it to the breakout. And we could potentially see us coming back down into this purple support box that I have here. This is also where the 21-day EMA is, which has acted as levels of support after we broke up through here. It did bounce off that 21-day EMA a couple times, so we could see that retracement. That would be back down to around 57. However, we can even go much lower and still remain bullish. So I think I talked about this a couple of videos ago, but we had a low here, a high there, a low or higher low, a higher high, a higher low, and now we have a higher high again. So technically we could come back down into this yellow area of support as well, which is in the high 40s and technically still remain bullish. I can't see it coming down that low at this point in time. I can foresee this measured move playing out here, like I talked about, down to the high 50s. Another reason why I think there's going to be a small retracement here is that we have entered extreme greed with the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. We are at 84, where just last month we were in extreme fear. So we have been slowly trending our way back up. I do believe that there needs to be a little bit of a cool-off period here. We did have ran up pretty quickly. So like I said, would not be surprised if we do see a retracement back to the high 50s, at the lowest, the high 40s, and then continue upwards from there. Another interesting thing to note here with Bitcoin, like I said, I don't think we're at the top yet, because when we take a look at Google Trends, this is always a good one to check out. Like I have mentioned in previous videos, we are nowhere near where we were in terms of search interest when we compare it to 2017. However, we have started to tick up. I believe the last time I talked about this, we were still down at around 26. We have now started to tick up, and we are at 32. So 32 means we are at 32% of the search volume as we were back in 2017. So there is still a long way to go to match that. However, it is interesting to note that we are starting to tick back up here. So make sure to check in on this one every once in a while. That is it for Bitcoin for now. Let's chat about Polkadot. So people want to know where Polkadot is going, what the potential price targets are for Polkadot in the short term and long term. Let's take a look. So first of all, I talked about this last time I mentioned Polkadot. We have seen this cup and handle pattern that we have broken out of. We had a beautiful breakout, and we came back to test this horizontal level of support right around $40. So I do think Polkadot, it could trend sideways for a little bit depending on what Bitcoin does, but we are poised for Polkadot to continue running up. This target here is the measured move from the cup and handle. So when we apply that to where we broke out from, we have a target of right around $67 based on this pattern there. Once we get above this $49, $50 range, we are going to be in price discovery mode. So there's a couple things that we can look at. First thing is Fibonacci extensions. So if we take our bottom to our high, this is for the whole thing, the whole like existence of Polkadot, and then come back to the first retracement there, the very bottom of that, right about here, we can see that we could get some resistance just below $57 Polkadot, and then the price target is still a little bit higher than that from that measured move. We could see a little bit of resistance at $86, and then at $132 if it got up there, that would be incredible. And then it continues up a little bit higher to 180 and potentially 208, which would be extremely bullish. 208 is the highest that, from what I have done for in regards to technical analysis, is the highest that I think it would go this bull cycle. It could, obviously I could be completely wrong, this is all speculation, just so you guys know, that's all it is, but two numbers are lining up at 208. So this one, obviously with the Fibonacci extensions, we also have the dot to Bitcoin price here. So when we look at this, we got up to around 0.84 or 0.835. It came to a couple times, so let's say that 0.000835. That is how the price of DOT compared to the price of Bitcoin. So if we saw Bitcoin go to 250K, which like I said is probably my most bullish outlook for Bitcoin this year, Polkadot would also hit $208. So we've got the DOT to Bitcoin price saying 208, most bullish scenario, and we've got the Fibonacci extensions also saying $208 is the most bullish scenario, which would be absolutely incredible. I would be fine with that if DOT went to $208. But these are other levels to look at along the way, and the first move that I'm looking for, like I said, comes out of this cup and handle moving up to roughly $67. However, we could face some resistance at the all-time high, of course, and then 57, 86, and along the way. But there will be other support and resistance levels in here. Usually psychological levels come into play as well, like the $100 mark, if we ever got there, would probably be some sort of mental resistance or psychological resistance for a lot of people, just because it's a nice whole number. We've seen that happen with Bitcoin at 20K, 40K, 60K, right? So those are some things to be aware of as well. That's it for today, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you got some value out of this video, head on down there, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and select the notification bell, and then click on all so you get notified for when I post new videos. Also, leave a comment down below on what your personal Polkadot price prediction is and where you can potentially see Bitcoin going this market cycle as well. That is all for today, team. I will see you next time on the next episode from the Crypto Cabin. Let's go.